overall draft plan of Liv Sandbox, and I like the combination with the Gragas, but this is kind of opting into a skill matchup against Deft and Vista. And I think they're going to lock in Tristana, and I don't think this is going to end well for Prince and Effort. I already pointed out, like, I would have much rather seen them go for a bot lane that can just absorb pressure. Right? Like, just pick something like the Ezreal, pick something like the Xayah with a lot of built-in safety. It's not amazing, but all Prince needs to do is not die, maybe free up effort, but now you're opting into a skill matchup, whereas Croco wants to spend all his time on Summit. Like, we've gone over this again and again. Like, that is what he's going to do. You can bully the Sion early, right? Like, this is something that Liv Sandbox are one of the teams that have been able to do this. You have the setup for the Camille with the hook shot, then you enter the Udyr, and like as a whole, I love the top side here of Liv Sandbox.
So it's just it's really, really scary. Plus, we had a conversation about this already as we hop onto the Rift here for game number 1.
How rarely he dies, and like just how much he's able to keep up with the rest of his team. As that's what early bot prio gets you, and that's already kind of a spanner in the works here for Liv Sandbox. I really think with this composition you need to pump some gold into Summit, because if that Herald is not going towards top side, I don't know, man. Like, just dump it into Summit. You know the win condition.
Well, Deft going 1v1 against Prince here, gets Buster shotted back, but in the end it's actually relatively even.
Right. On this Hanwha Live line, it's not okay.
Oh, here's a Magnet Storm towards the bottom side as Ragnarok is popped. They're looking for Prince as Effort's taking a bit of damage. Cast comes down. But it is going to be a Ragnarocking Olaf who's just going to walk that one out.
The power of their front-to-back team fight in a later game scenario is so stable. Teleport comes in though.
Yeah, this is danger as Deft now doesn't have his rocket jump. There's the flash forward. Deft is very, very dead. And the Scat of the Week connects onto Vista, who's going to flash away, crashes down to safety as Chovy teleports in just to make sure that they don't lose this turret.
I think with Prince,
yeah, he is a little bit far up in that lane as Deft gets the explosive charge. There's the reset as he's going to... Oh, not quite enough! The calculation just barely not there for Deft.
They would have gone killed repeatedly, and this would have been a completely different match, but the defensive play is looking really on point at the moment.
Not to mention the, you know, multi-camp advantage that Johan has as well. Like, that is not something you see in a matchup of, you know, that's 6 camps. It's crazy. As we've got an engage here, and Vista is just dead. Real dead.
Phase Rush has not been changed. Yes, of course, you have the new items, but I still think that experimentation can provide a lot. Vista!
Once again, the horse is in trouble as Deft is actually going to get over this time. Vista flashes out, teleports, coming on in. That Scat of the Week was not exactly the best one as Effort gets over the wall, but the train, crashes, unfortunately, and Morgan is just going to get beaten down. Does get the heal from Deft, though. Will walk to relative safety.
And this is a completely different game than what I expected. Chovy!
Oh, maybe caught napping here just a little bit as the ult from Fate is going to be enough. Just caught in transition, unfortunately, and Liv Sandbox also take down the top outer turret. The snow is beginning to ball up here, Chronicler, and it's feeling like Liv Sandbox are just riding it towards a victory, potentially. We'll have to see what Hanwha Live can do in response.
It's getting chilly for Hanwha Live, as you say, Liv Sandbox.
And as this Mountain Drake is available, Hanwha Live Esports, they just want to let it go. They're looking for a Baron. As Liv Sandbox probably going to be able to burst down this Mountain Drake, and I don't know whether Hanwha Live Esports are going to be able to get this one done in time, but they're going to go for it anyway.
Have a lot of damage available, they're rushing it.
This Azir actually does a hell of a lot of damage to Baron as well, so it's already down to half health as Effort taking a bit of damage. In goes Vista. There's the Magnet Storm into the backline. It was all a bait all along. And Summit's going to get chunked out and destroyed. The cast, not exactly the highest value as Deft just rocket jumps back into the fight. Johan actually still alive.
I expect them to go for the turret. They also didn't get the Drake. Liv Sandbox. They're getting hungry for kills here, and I would have much rather seen them go for that objective. The fight continues.
Yep, Johan going to dive on over. As Hanwha Live Esports, they have no vision of this area. Deft is going to walk into 2 people. The Pierce does not land. Rocket Jump going to have to be used. Has Flash available as well as the heal. And there's the follow flash from Effort. Absolutely love it. This guy's been on form today, and Liv Sandbox find a couple of picks. And now they should be able to get towards this dragon, although it's being furiously pinged from Hanwha Live Esports. As Chovy should be able to get over there and at least threaten Soul Point. As he does so.
Where has this Liv Sandbox been the entire split, Atlas?
I don't know, they were killing Gen G before, and they killed Hanwha Live earlier on. This is a team on the upswing, right? Like, They finally put all the pieces together, and it's working. Yes,
just the cleaned up play from Liv Sandbox as a whole is just, it's kind of baffling. Engage, this is aggressive.
Yeah, straight underneath the turret is Croco looking for the backline. Buster Shot needs to respect it. And Harmalife Esports are going to back away. Effort is going to get Magnus Stormed and exploded. Vista in that front line doing work as the Emperor's Divide comes in. Chovy sweeps his way out as well as Prince goes golden, but then goes to the Death Chamber. And yes, they lose their Olaf, but unfortunately it's not going to be a win for Liv Sandbox this time around. They will take this turret. There's a minute on the mountain, so Liv Sandbox should be alive for that fight, but Hanwha, this is what the team fights look like when they get them on their terms.
And now they might be looking at Mountain Soul here, which is such a problem for Liv Sandbox.
Liv Sandbox do have position around this dragon, but you can see Harmalife Esports, they're ready once again for another 5v5. This is their territory. This is what they love as Summit. Looking to wrap around for that flank. The dragon going down very low. In goes the train. Harmalife Esports, they do get the Mountain Soul. And now Summit's going to give him a thumbs up and not really know how to enter this fight. He'll do it via the Emperor's Divide and then the Death Chamber right after this stopwatch as Prince is going to get jumped on literally by Deft and then left actually by himself as Fate is now limping away. It's a brick wall on the front line. That's precisely what he wants to be doing as the Sand Soldiers are after Liv Sandbox creates well and truly enough space.
Come on, Summit.
To grab the inhibitor as yes, Summit's going for the base race versus 5 people. Let's do it. Let's see whether he can get this one done as at least they might be able to have some super minions heading out of the base. As you can see, Harmalife Esports actually looking to get out of here as the Rel makes it home, and now it's a 4v4. Maybe this was a mistake. I'm not entirely sure, as Deft now over the wall, spotted on some wards, and Morgan taking a lot of damage, in fact about infinite damage, but he's still not dead, of course. Feels a little bit immortal here as Vista is going to get over the wall. Oh no, trapped in the tiniest little corner of Baby Cage there, but was still able to make it over as the teleport is used. Yeah, I love wall synergy.
Yeah, it doesn't actually work, but like the idea behind it is really
one of my
fun.
favorite games of all time. It was Albus Nox Luna many years ago. They played the Poppy and Nivea comp, and oh my god, it was beautiful.
That's so good.
One of my favorite games. As there's a knock-up onto Effort. Fate's Call immediately going to be used here. Let's see whether it actually gets the value as Fate wrapping around. You can see Death actually diving right into the middle of this one. Doesn't have another stopwatch, but he does have his GA, of course. So he's coming back to life. Croco now diving on top of him. Death does make it out as Effort is going to get taken down eventually. A double kill now for the Olaf is unfortunately for Liv Sandbox fans. They're just a little bit too far behind when it comes to compositions, and Chovy is going to get over this wall. Blast cones his way in and then immediately gets shoved out. I like that one, as now Morgan is going to get his revenge here onto Summit, just smacking him around as best he can. Yeah, I don't know whether he necessarily does, but he is buying some time as Deft hops over the wall, gets himself the blast cone, and stops Croco from having any way to get over that wall. 12 seconds, that's far longer than I should have said. 0.12 seconds, let's go with that.
Yeah.
As Deft wails on them with his auto attack. Summit finds the Olaf in the back line, actually is going to win that fight most likely, but it's a double kill already in the front line for Deft as Fate is now running for the hills. We're looking towards that 20% as he's burning down, and the Elder will wreak havoc on Liv Sandbox, and the Nexus will go down as well. Harmalife Esports come through here, and I think Summit had a great one. I think Fate as well. Some of his scatters were just brilliant, and the early game was fantastic, but I mean, I don't know how the Olaf did that much damage. That's insane.
Hey.
Johan's coming back with a vengeance.
Honestly, like, I'm just super amazed at like how good this game was. You already pointed out, like, I think this might legitimately have been like one of the best games that I've seen this week, where it's just like both teams are evenly matched. They play to their outs. The team that wins doesn't win because the other team did something colossally stupid, right? Like,
yeah. You learned the Alistair from Marta. That was definitely a success.
His Alistair is still amazing.
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
Like it's.
Oh, Chovy's doing it!
Woo!
All right. I actually was wondering. I was going through his solo queue just recently, and his Everfrost LeBlanc has certainly been taking some names, but not actually all that recently, to be perfectly honest. This is interesting.
Yes, please.
I mean, Ezreal is about all you can pick at this point in time. Like, Tristana could have been a potential option there as well, because Rocket Jump can get you theoretically out of the way of a Hecarim, but maybe not, actually.
Damage. LeBlanc is the sole AP source, so she can actually assassinate targets. On the side of Liv Sandbox, there's plenty of squishies, right? Like, Camille won't really be beefy. She'll have some health, but that's about it. Fade is self-explanatory. Prince is self-explanatory, so I think we might see some fireworks here, Atlas.
And it's also always been a historically extremely interesting matchup into Azir.
The general consensus is that she's not a Vista. You were spot up, my man. That is
okay. Yeah, well, Vista is just going to have to flash this wall. Does so. Deft might be able to grab this ward, so at least they get a consolation prize. As final. Yep, over they go.
So those are the kind of stats you don't want to see as Morgan.
This is the kind of engage you don't want to see as well, as Morgan's going to have to flash, gets the follow, so at least they trade 1-for-1 as Morgan's going to go back home. Could have been worse, I guess, but still not exactly the greatest of moments.
Like I said earlier, right? Like, as long as Effort and Prince respect this, they should be fine. Croc are going to be found. I don't think Johan wins this.
No, exactly not. As the crashdown does come through, Attract Repel. Only going to get the stun onto Prince. As there's the flash forward. Johan going to have to try and get out of here, but he can't. Only has the Ghost, of course, as Deft trying to get some follow damage back in. But once again, another beautiful early game from Liv Sandbox. Is already 2 kills. It is going down relatively quickly. And Liv Sandbox do get the rotation over. They should be able to lock that one down. So, Croco continuing his onslaught of the jungle. In fact, both of the neutral objectives available so far have been his. As there's a Zenith Blade forward. Solar Flare is going to connect as well. As there's the Magnet Storm and the Crashdown Chovy. Not a lot of cooldowns right now, but there is the Onslaught of Shadows. As Fate finds the Emperor's Divide, Johan just gets slammed into. Decent knock up there onto Summit as Chovy still alive, connects the chains there onto Summit, dives on forward, picks up his first kill of the fight. Vista gets out safely as Chovy continuing to try and contend with this one, and now Morgan maybe going a little bit too far forward. Fate at full health is still scary, as Chovy with his passive.
Character. In these, like, choke pointy skirmishes, he still has a lot of value. Summit.
Yeah, could be in trouble here, as he does have the Hextech Ultimatum, gets boot back, Croco dives on in, as there it is. Ultimatum coming down, Morgan just having to watch as Fate flips another one. And Morgan's going to go down as well. No way that this Scion can 1 versus 3, and it's a double kill for the Azir. It's the day of the pigeons today. Now with his Divine Sunderer in position, and Harmer Life Esports, speaking of position, will be able to grab this second Drake of the game, and that is certainly good news for them after, I guess, theoretically winning the turf war on the bottom side of the map.
That provides Chovy and Deft with some freedom.
Speaking of Chovy, though, he's now locked down Fate. Croco's after him as Empress Divide only lands onto Vista. Fate is just going down so quickly, but the CC's there and Johan gets baited in. God, effort has been so good today. As Chovy gets back to the safety of his turret, and Fate is going to survive as well. This horse not having a great time. So if they can take a win here in game number 2, bring us to that match point, things could be very, very important, as now Prince might be caught out of position, gets knocked back. Decent Solar Flare, but it's not going to be enough as Johan gets delivered a little bit more much-needed money. But still, there's a huge amount of pressure there developing towards the top side. Deft, though, he's going to take down an outer turret on the bottom side of the map. And
100%, because that's the kind of the reputation that these players have built for themselves. And
have you noticed something? Have you noticed that Harmer Life Esports have one of the best Cloud Soul team compositions that you could possibly get?
Yeah.
Deft gets to ult in and then move more quickly, things like that. But also, getting Chovy's ultimate over and over again is really important, as Johan looking to get down here. And, yep, that is a very dead Summit, as Chovy, if he 4-0-0 Azir making a rotation there towards the bottom side of the map. Efforts found Vista as Prince over to the side as well. In goes the Magnet Storm, out they go as well. But in goes Chovy, finds the distortion into the back line as the exhaust immediately used onto Johan. He's just locked down for so long. The train finds one, but Summit heroically stands in the way, denies all that CC.
Advantage there with a big flank from Johan into an ultimate, followed up by an okay engage from Vista. They don't want to give over this Baron, though.
Yep, Morgan is going to grab a blue trinket, gets back into the pit as Chovy gets over the wall, back in again. Summit has locked down Deft as he cleanses, tries to get out, but he's not going to be able to. Now Morgan running for the hills as well. Chovy finds the chain onto Summit, but he's going to have to leave Morgan to die. As Croco just going to stand next to him, gets a bit of a boop there, as that looked a little bit dangerous. If we had a couple of extra zombie slaps, that would have been a dead bear man.
One thing that Liv Sandbox were looking for, which is an advantageous skirmish, I say.
Yeah, more chains connecting here onto Effort, as he's going down low, but he's not actually going to die just yet. Morgan once again calls the train underneath the turret. This time, he's not quite as survivable. Now died 3 times.
LeBlanc from Chovy, I don't think that has been a problem whatsoever, but Johan has been over-aggressive. Morgan, I think, still feels like he's playing in game number 1, where he actually could get away with all this. But in this scenario, there's not a Syndra, on the other hand.
He's trying to keep his eye on what's going on here. Some extra vision given over. Johan knows that there's someone waiting in there, and the Zenith Plate comes out to confirm it. Immediately exploded is the horse. He is basically doing nothing this game. Chovy gets his Everfrost denied. 4 versus 5 now, no smite available. Harmalife Esports still go in for it. Decent Magnet Storm as Effort's going to get focused down. Another Zenith Plate. Deft flashes the wall to get himself over the back. Does go golden to avoid the Emperor's Divide, but he's in amongst about 11 people, and he will be taken down. Morgan gets a cool little knock up there as another Everfrost comes down, and that is going to be the lockdown onto the Camille, but the Rel's going to fall as well, and Chovy can't do it all. Has to get out of here as Morgan, the zombie version, will at least get himself.
Last time we had for Hanwha Life, there's too many threats on the side of Liv Sandbox.
Yeah, well, we're doing this again. Morgan is booking it, trying to get in there. The Baron goes down, though, and unfortunately, the horse is just going to dive into his death. The Rel's going to follow. Both of these horses are way too excited, I think, as the Scion's going to set up a bit of a stun. Effort's going to get chunked, but he's a Leona. He doesn't care whether you throw damage into him, and it's a triple kill here for this Ezreal as the Zombie Scion once again sadly walks away. 18-6 now, the advantage for Liv Sandbox. Close to a 10,000 gold lead. Baron now, and the base is in trouble. True Shot Barrage actually going to deny the back of Chovy as well, and that'll make it much easier for this inhibitor to be eliminated.
Small victories, Atlas. There's not a lot to celebrate here. Oh, and we're live. You got to take him.
Well, Chovy tries to put him on a leash as he distorts all the way around the Hextech Ultimatum. Eventually he can flash out, but now the rest of the team is in trouble. Deft, decent position right now as the Emperor's Divide tidies up the backline. Chovy, where is he? He's now backing, trying to get back and start this one up with a decent phalanx as Morgan getting taken down extraordinarily low as in goes Vista. We have the Zombie Scion support as well as the Killer Instinct. Fate getting taken down low. Deft with a double kill so far as he goes down to his GA. Prince throws out the True Shot Barrage, and that's a little bit unfortunate as Summit over the wall gets himself the stun, and Deft is not going to... Oh, he flashes! No, not quite able to pick up the kill, but it looked so close to being amazing.
I thought he was going to do it. Wouldn't it have mattered? Probably not, but it would have been so cool for him to find the blow up. There comes the teleport. Summit, he wants to end this game, and Liv Sandbox with a statement gamer in game number 2.
Well, here's Johan. Let's see whether he can make something happen as Chovy. No stopwatch, no chance. And yeah, Prince is going to take a celebratory horse kill as the Nexus will be taken down, and Liv Sandbox bring us to a game 3. I feel like we deserved it. Game 1 was the big damages, and the numbers out of Fate are probably going to be impressive, but no, it's mainly Prince and Summit doing so much work. Summit's Camille. I think maybe it's going to be worthy of a ban as we move to game number 3.
Especially the confidence with which he blinds it, which we talked about this a lot earlier in the split. Like, I was a really big fan of the Camille, and like people have kind of picked it up left and right, but no one as much as Summit, who gave the ultimate with Featherstorm. And I think that, you know, after seeing Prince, it was very telling that no one gave Prince a POG vote, because even though he went like 12-1, it didn't feel like he had the biggest impact on that game. And I think Desire, oh yeah. Wow. Yeah. But listen, okay, no, because if you do this, they're going to flex away the Scion. And I guess then Morgan goes into a skill matchup, Aurelia for Summit, which is not going to end well. So I guess you win this. This is a win either way.
Yeah. I think picking aggression on the top side of the map is perfect for Liv Sandbox.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I actually agree. I also, you know what I wouldn't have minded? I wouldn't have minded a Jace. Just because, like, I think Summit's Jace is insane.
Yeah, true. That's Mordekaiser. As I think we are flexing the Scion to the mid lane. That's what it feels like to me. and this is going to be their attempted answer into the Aurelia.
Especially with the train, you know, train can go north, train can go south. It's all possible here.
Exactly. You're not end of the line like the top side of the map. You know, you can only really go down. LPL Mordekaisers and LCK Mordekaisers. I'm going to have to hold that thought as Prince is already lit on fire. Deft has been exhausted. Heal does come out. That's 2 summoners for 1. And you'll take that any day of the week, especially with the fact that this health trade...
Prince, 100% are not going to win that. They might even look for a dive with earlier play. Still level 1 here for Prince.
Yeah, exactly. Prince is going to get dove on. There's the Attract Repel for the stun. Vista's going to go down. They trade 1 for 1 as the headbutt comes back onto Johan. They have a lot of mana. So that's a little bit tough as Lilia is going to find Croco. And he's going to give him a rough time. Watch out, Eve. Not really going to work here as Croco just runs so dang fast with his phase rush active. Does get the flash out in a 1v1 scenario against Johan. Very nicely done.
We'll have the ultimate available, so that changes it a little bit as...
Yeah, Chovy gets ulted. We're not going to get excited just yet.
No.
As Chovy's just going to walk back to the minion wave. Croco's coming in now. Maybe this could change things as the flash is going to be available. Uses it. And so Croco with his drive-by making things work. And I love this guy's early pressure that he has. Morgan, level 7, coming over. Finds Croco. So we've got Chovy running it back in, but now won't have the ultimate for a potential Herald skirmish. Lilia is running over here, but this is going down relatively quickly. Fate in position. Vista coming on over as well. We may have a fight for this as Morgan does go in. Death Realm going to be there, so if it comes down to a smite fight, then it's going to be about the Mordekaiser and whether he can lock him out. Has now utilized it as Croco gets over the wall. Johan getting dashed on here as Summit taking a lot of damage. Effort takes down the Lilia, though, immediately as the Rift Herald is secured. Not entirely sure who managed to take it. It was Vista. He's going to be able to pick up the eye here as Chovy gets game played, and the stun going to be avoided, but he's still dead, ladies and gentlemen. Live Sandbox with all 5 members around that pit. They lose out on the Herald, but they win the fight decided. Started off this Cloud Drake as well as Vista. Not able to even get in to get Vision down. As you can see, Chovy moving towards it, but not going to be able to get there nearly in time.
If it's not decisive enough, you're still screwed.
Well, there's the Vanguard's Edge. Death Realm does come out once again as the Death's Grasp is actually decently done, as we'll see whether Morgan can actually make this one work. The stun's too good, though, and Summit easily takes that one down. That's a solo kill, and that's so comfy. Exactly the way Chronicler described it. Feeling like a very similar vibe to the second game of the series, and sometimes better top laner can win as Death is going to get stunned up. There's the Blade Surge, the Killer Instincts to get himself out of the way, and unfortunately for Summit, right as I say it, I cast Curse the heck out of Live Sandbox, and they throw away their top laner.
Last game it was the Chovy and the LeBlanc, and the LeBlanc wasn't the problem, right? Like that's not the core issue, and I don't think the Mordekaiser is the core issue here, but it does kind of further exacerbate your issues to a point where you're like, why would you go for that? And not just for, like you said, the sign, and just put Chovy in something else.
Yeah.
And Live Sandbox, they need to introduce some chaos.
Oh, speaking of which, Prince getting taken down very, very low. Doesn't actually pull the Featherstorm trigger. As Chovy with ult at the ready, looking to try and stop this one. Herald going to get knocked up into the sky. Scatter the Weak going to connect onto Johan only. And the Rift Herald will be able to get the charge down. Not going to be able to eliminate any turrets or anything like that. But now we've got 50 seconds before this Infernal Drake. And this, like you were talking about, this is going to be the important one as Morgan is a little bit slow, especially when it's in comparison to Croco. As Vanguard's Edge goes forward, lands only onto Chovy, who's just standing his ground. No joy on the stun. As now in goes the Rel. Vista immediately locks them all up. Effort gets into the backline, but Humble Life Esports have won the first start of this fight so beautifully, and Morgan getting some well-deserved vengeance onto Summit. Now Prince just trying to fight this one out. He held onto the Featherstorm for such a long time, and Deft was eliminated in this fight as Johan trying to escape this one, but it's the Decimating Smash, sorry, the Obliterate, that is going to be able to lock down the Xayah, and that is an ace for Humble Life Esports.
Yeah. That's
oh
boy.
He still has the ulti available as Deft taking a lot of damage, but Killer Instinct gets him out. The Flash going to get him out even further. Vanguard's Edge into the backline as Chovy not actually in this fight. He's hoping that the rest of his team can take care of it. So far, not really working out. Summit, though, is going to be taken down as Deft finally gets back into the fight. It's a double kill for Morgan. I take it all back, please. Don't kill me, Mr. Mordekaiser, man, as Prince is going to get obliterated. And Fate, yes, he did survive. However, the rest of his team not so lucky.
Summit, because this is the nature of the champion.
I'm not saying that he's done anything wrong, but unfortunately, it feels like not enough has been done.
Oh, I agree.
As a teleport to get towards the inner turret. unfortunately. Not going to quite get there in time, as Fate had used the teleport in order to get himself out of that one. As there's the headbutt pole, they land the layer of CC, as Deft is going to go golden right at the last second. He Killer Instincts to get himself even closer to the action, which is probably not the best, but that's going to be a fantastic Blade Caller. Be able to wrap up a couple of kills here. The Xayah has already fallen, is now Effort trying to run away from the horse. Cow versus horse action. It's a barnyard as the bear is going to come through as well.
That's not what you want in the barn.
No,
Atlas.
exactly. Please get it out of the barn. As Vista not exactly having the greatest time, but he has an Ignite, so he's going to be able to at least go 1-for-1 as now Morgan gets another one of these beautiful ultis onto Summit. That's a solo kill, by the way. I guess. I mean, there were no other assists, but he's going to be able to grab a double in the end. I'm never bad-mouthing Mordekaiser again in my life, dude. This is the best champion. It's like actually my original favorite champion of all time, but after the rework, I haven't really had as much faith, and I'm being made pay for it. I don't think they understand what tilt is.
Morgan and Johan do not have that capability yet, but again, the in-between games, like the coaching stuff or just their mental.
Yeah, exactly. We're just going to try and barrel towards this inhibitor turret. Deft is there, free hitting onto it. Summit now looking to wrap around and grab himself an advantage. Effort very, very low right now as they want to try and take the Mordekaiser out of the fight so that Summit can get some work done. The Vanguard's Edge gets it at just the tip as there is the ulti out from Morgan, and he wants to try and punish Summit here. He's going to take him down to the GA so incredibly easily. Now Croco doing not a whole lot, and Vista still had the ulti, by the way, towards the end of this one. The turret's going to be taken down. Humble Life Esports, a beautiful lesson in team fighting by the end as Deft free hitting, gets a triple kill, dies, but that's the ace. The Crab Rave comes in, and Humble Life will be able to secure Game 3.
And this is looking like Game 1, Hanwha Life, the confidence to just say, guys, we can go for this, right? Like Chovy, he doesn't even need to actually hit the enemies, he just needs to zone them off.
Yeah.
So that the rest of the team can
Chovy,
that
quickly,
away.
You need to farm 3 more minions so you can have the most CS in the game.
Do it.
Do it, quickly. Please. Oh no, where are they? Please wait for the minions. Chovy instead wants to get hit by a fountain laser, so we're not going to quite get there.
There's a lot of mistakes here that we need to fix. We need to take a good hard look at what went wrong, where are these early game deficits coming from, because if we can avoid these, we clearly show that we know what to do.
Yeah, this was, as we have a look at the post-game breakdown, I think this was a great learning experience, I think, for Live Sandbox and for Hanwha Life Esports and for the fans on both sides, right? We saw what was good about Live Sandbox, why they have a chance to race towards those playoffs, even if now, you know, this is going to make things a little bit harder for them with another loss in that column.